Today we're having a look at the Sofirn SP35T. This is a tail switch version of the SP35. This is rated at 3800 lumens, with a range of 280 meters. It takes one 21700 battery. It's got USB Type-C charging with C2C support. You got your side switch as well as a tail switch with that's a forward clicky with momentary. The SFN43 LED in cool white with orange peel reflector. So this has got smooth anodizing, bit of fins on the head, and then you've got a bit of knurling on the body, which does not provide much grip at all. It feels actually a bit cheap. You got your lanyard attachment on the tail, and you've got your dual-sided clip. So this version here, Sofirn have got their very enjoyable UI on here that has a tactical and outdoor mode that you can switch between. So at the moment there, it's set to the outdoor mode. So one click of the tail switch will get you your memorized mode. And then you've got double press, gets you straight to your turbo, which is very nice. Then while it's on, you'll cycle through moon, low, medium, high. Double press gets you the turbo. Triple press is the strobe and SOS. While it's on, you'll hold the side switch for a few seconds to change into the tactical mode. So from the side switch, it just cycles through medium and turbo. Double press is the strobe and the SOS. And then from the tail switch, it goes straight to the turbo, and double press gets you the strobe. So yeah, it's very useful. The negatives on this, like the beam profile isn't that great. You've got just a white center, sort of a yellow spill, and then you've got a white sort of purplish edge. And so, but this is just throwing out a lot of light, and a lot of people probably aren't going to care for tactical use. One of my friends suggested they might put it on their shotgun, and that's going to work perfectly fine for that. But the switches are very, very cheap feeling. There's just a lot of travel until it actually registers the click, until it's like flush with the body. It just doesn't feel like the plastic sort of nub inside for the switch is long enough, and so you're having to press it down too much for that. Tail switch, it's quite mushy as well, and this actually, the rear switch sometimes sticks as it comes back up, and the side switch sometimes registers as a double click, so that is not ideal. But I find that a lot with Sofirn's side switch models that uses this style. So that's the original SP35, and that side switch has actually failed on me. But another thing is the rated lumens of 3800. I measured just over 2900 at turn on, and that was with a Molicel P42A battery, and using Sofirn's battery, it was only slightly less, so it's not a battery issue there. I bypassed the front positive spring because it's just a single spring. You've got dual springs on the tail and a single spring on the head. I bypassed that spring, and I got that up to 3150 at turn on. So it's still, it's like it's just a lot less than what they're rated at. It's like maybe they made a mistake in the laboratory and made it a 3 instead of a 2, or maybe they had that there for advertising purposes, as you see quite often for Sofirn with some of their models. Another thing is that on turbo and high, this gets too hot to hold if you just leave it to run its course. So I'd recommend just using it for very quick bursts, and then using it on low and medium, because the medium did not go over 50 degrees Celsius on the body, so you're still going to be able to hold it and use it all right. The driver is entirely unregulated on this, so every single level reduces in brightness with the battery. charge. So that's very disappointing, because when it first came out, one of the contacts on Budget Light Forum said, yep, this is a buck driver, regulated buck driver. So I applied to review it, only to be disappointed. The cheaper SP35 original has a nice regulated buck driver, so disappointing. On turbo, low voltage protection worked, kicked in at 2.7 volts, shut the light off, great. And then I tested high and medium, and there's no low voltage protection working there. At 2.8 volts, this thing starts to flicker and shimmer, as if the LED is not getting enough voltage. And those flashes get slower and slower as the battery reduces, to the point where it's like one flash every couple of seconds, and then it eventually turns off. But it's still drawing 3.3 milliamps. So it just doesn't look like low voltage protection worked there. Maybe I just got a bad light. I don't know. I don't have anyone else that can confirm that. But yeah, I mean, it has its uses. If you just want to use it tactically, you know, it's got quite a good UI, but I would still recommend getting the SP35 with the nice regulated buck driver, and it's cheaper. Yeah, so I can't quite make that out, because a buck driver costs more than an unregulated driver that they've put in here, but yet the SP35T is more expensive. So I just don't know what Sofirn are thinking there, charging more for something that's worse. But you know, I just feel like Sofirn have become more popular now that they're not putting quite as much effort into their releases. A lot of them are unregulated, because you've got the SC32, the SC18. The SC18 was a great budget model. You know, I do recommend that light, but then you've got the IF19 that I reviewed, and that's entirely unregulated. The SP35T here, entirely unregulated. So I don't mind them releasing these lights, but I do wish they would balance it up with some higher end models as well. But I do hope that was helpful, and as always guys, thanks for watching.